So I take my son, who's 6, and a small kid, over into the bushes. We're kind of hiding there. And I pull his pants down, so you can kind of see his underoos behind him. His back is facing the field. And I kneel down in front of him, and I'm, like fixing on his upper thigh. I mean, just imagine the visual here, okay? And he's, I'm trying to get this thing out. He's crying out, screaming, because I kept thinking I had the splinter, but I was actually grabbing his skin and kind of like just destroying the flesh on his poor little leg. And he's crying out. And so these little kids hear a kid crying. And I look up, and there's a girl standing there, a little girl. And I say, "Oh, hey, it's fine. Sweetheart, it's my son." Like, I'm telling her my story as if she thinks something's going on. Like, "Oh, hey, everything's cool. This boy is not being molested. He's my son. We're good. I promise."
Don't tell your mom.
But yeah, if you tell your mom, I will kill you. Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Save It for the Show. This is episode 140 of your favorite podcast, where every week my co-host and I, Eddie, sit down, we talk, we laugh, we share the raw, the nitty-gritty, and the great stories of our life, and we have a good time. Except this week, we have a very, very special guest, because this weekend is a monumental event. It's the Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fight. So in honor of that, I had on the show the biggest boxing fan I know. It's Eddie's dad. Eddie Sr. is in the studio. What's up, Mr. Galindo?
Hi, Dan. How are you?
Very good.
It's very good to be back. Hi, everybody.
So glad to have you back on the show. It's been a while.
Yes, it's been pretty long time.
Too long.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, you've become a bit of a fan favorite.
Oh, that's very nice to hear. Mm-hmm. I'm glad everybody liked me.
I get lots of great feedback.
Okay.
And people, they talk about you. They want to know more about you. And I'm excited to have you back on the program.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be back here. It's a great weekend for all the Filipinos out there. So, it's a very exciting time for us.
There's a lot of pride.
Yes, very much.
You were just in the Philippines.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. I miss that place. I grew up there, but, I'm back here and we're going to watch the fight. It's going to be great.
Did anything crazy happen? A lot of things that Eddie and I talk about, I give him a hard time about slitting goat throat and eating blood. Eating blood.
How many times I tell you how to say it and you don't know how to say it yet?
I just can't get it. It's like some people can't roll an R in Spanish. I just can't say blood.
It's because you're a white guy. That's why.
It's true.
So
it's very true.
It's
very
not your
white.
fault.
No, I try. So were there any, shenanigans, anything nutty go down when you were in the Philippines?
It's not really, it's just the same. We sit in the barrio and we drink and, we have a good time. Obviously, we kill various animals for barbecue, but, it's pretty much the same.
What do you drink when you're there? What's the poison?
They have a beer. It's called San Miguel beer. It's a very good beer. I drink a lot of that, and then, the same other stuff, the hard stuff, like I really like, I say Hennessy before.
Yes.
That's, probably my favorite. But, yeah, mostly that. But the San Miguel is the beer that we drink there.
I wish I had some San Miguel for you right now, sir.
I wonder if they sell that here somewhere.
Ooh, that's a good question.
We should have one sometime. Mm-hmm. And then, we can do a drunk show like you and Junior do.
No, have you heard a bit of that drunk show?
No, but, I can drink pretty good, so.
You can. Well, Eddie and I were going to maybe do Edward 40 hands, which...
What's that?
It's like you take 2 big San Miguels, and you can't drop them until you drink both of them. 80 ounces of San Miguel.
Of course, why would you drop it?
Well, I mean, set it down.
Obviously, you finish it.
Well, listen, when we
if you pick up a beer,
right.
You do not put it down until you finish that one.
You have to clean just all the way to the
Completely,
bottom?
Yes.
Woo,
That's how you do it.
Maybe this weekend I'll do that. Are you going to get loose when you watch the Pacquiao fight, or do you keep it real sober, real clean, so you can focus?
No, because we're celebrating. It's a Filipino up there, so everyone's going to have a good time and take a couple shots and stuff.
He's not just a Filipino man. He is seriously. I saw like a 5-minute video about him yesterday. He's a singer, a congressman, a philanthropist.
Yeah.
He really is. And he's such a nice guy.
He seems
gives
like
off
that.
this vibe.
Yeah.
Like when he's talking, he's so humble.
Yeah.
He's essentially the opposite of Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's such a good fight for everyone because they're like completely different. Like even their fighting styles. Like Manny Pacquiao is a very aggressive, come forward fighter. He throws lots of punches in bunches. That's how they say it.
Punches in bunches.
Punches in bunches,
I like
which
that.
Means he throws bunches of punches. Basically.
Yeah.
But and then Floyd Mayweather is arguably one of the best defensive fighters ever. You can't hit the guy. It's so hard to hit him.
He's undefeated.
He's 47 and 0 or something like that.
How do you do that in this day and age? Go that many times without getting knocked out?
Well, his defense he's like, like magic when he does it. It's like, I'm over here. No, I'm over here now,
Just can't get hit.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they also say that he likes to pick his opponents very carefully.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't really take risk when he's fighting. So
he's very strategic.
Yes.
And he's a businessman almost first and foremost.
Yes,
these
but
days.
He's also a woman beater too. So
Oh, is he?
yeah, he went to jail for 2 months.
What?
Because he pleaded guilty or something. He beat his kid's mom. They used to be together. They're not together anymore.
Ooh.
And he went over there and he beat her. And their son called the police.
Wow.
And say, my dad's hit my mom. And then, but that's why the fight they say is good versus evil because man is very Christian.
Yes.
He's like a born again Christian.
Right.
Very religious. And then Mayweather, he's like idolizing money. And he's, hitting girls and stuff.
Yeah.
But, he's not going to be hitting a girl on Saturday,
No.
He's going to be a real man in front of
Real
him.
man. I didn't realize that he was a born-again Christian, which are kind of the worst kind. Sorry,
Yes.
Manny. Because they didn't grow up in it, they chose it.
Yeah,
So, but
that's-
listen, I don't want to talk ill of him because he will punch and bunch
He's-
my ass. But wait, I didn't realize Mayweather hit his girl. And how shitty is it that his son had to call the police on his own dad?
Yeah, it's not the first time. It's like 7 times.
Seven times?
The police come and talk to him, and
Whoa.
people say that he hit them, and then he say he doesn't do it. There's no proof. There's no evidence. But
Right.
so
He hits them like on their butts. Or like their inner thighs.
it's just a spanking for them.
Well, no face. Like a really good abuser would never punch the face. You can't
Yeah.
say you fell down the stairs. I mean, take it from me. You would never know. Nicole, my wife, is physically...
Oh, you hit her?
No, you know what? I hit her in her mind. All of my abuse to her is mental.
Oh, that's even worse than
Oh,
the.
all right. Well, I'll work on that.
You need to, yeah.
I'll try my best. Well, I'm surprised to hear that a man that makes his living punching people has a bit of an anger problem with his gal.
Yeah, exactly, and he's just, he always talk about his money and all that, but, I noticed he seemed a little nervous.
Yeah.
They have a press conference today, and I watch it on YouTube, and yeah, he seemed, because he's usually very talkative, and he's
Right.
always talking, blah, 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 but
Big
this
game.
time he's kind of very quiet, but, he could be faking, and
Yeah?
he's crazy, but.
So, obviously, are you pulling... I know you want Pacquiao to win. Can he win? Is he going to be the pride of the Philippines or the failure?
It's called the fighting pride of the Philippines.
Yes.
Yes, but I think he has a chance because the one thing people don't know about Manny Pacquiao is he has a very big penis. So
A big penis?
Yeah, and it helps him. It helps him when he's fighting because he's kind of like he goes off balance, but he doesn't because his
Oh.
penis is like a counter.
So big?
Yeah, because it's it's like a cat's tail.
Oh, you don't
So-
think he wears a cup? He just doesn't wear a cup. He
They,
just...
I mean, they probably don't. They cannot make a cup that big,
No.
But he
Yeah,
needs the
a
freedom.
bowl,
He
not
needs,
just a cup. It would
yeah,
be a bowl.
he needs the freedom, so it can swing. So if you go left, he swing right, and then he keeps him balanced all night. You know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, people don't know that. I don't know why they don't talk about that more.
No, we talked on the show once about Filipino lovers were known on the ships back in the day. The prostitutes would seek out the Filipino men because they would put special rocks in their dicks to make them, almost like an internal French tickler on the Filipino dick.
I don't know what if a French tickler is, but that's...
Well, it's like a spiky condom for the lady.
Okay. That sounds painful.
Well, not hard spikes.
Okay.
Soft, velvety, soft, like a little...
Is it made of velvet?
Well, no, it's like silicone.
Okay.
Or lamb skin, maybe. And it's almost like an internal massage for the lady.
Okay.
I've never done it. I don't have one in my house.
You should try it. Maybe Manny Pacquiao have like it's all towards the end, so it's like a wrecking ball.
Oh God!
It's very heavy over there. That helps him with his balance.
Big old head and maybe a really skinny shaft.
Probably. We should ask if we could see his penis if we ever see him.
I want to see the tail of the tape.
Yeah,
right.
That's a very funny joke there.
Throw those monsters out. I want to see them.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be the real. There's probably a bet somewhere. You can bet on anything for these fights. First punch, this, that, and the other. Penis.
Yes.
Size. Well, it'll be a good fight.
But yeah, very excited.
I'm excited. I'm going to drink a bunch of San Miguel's.
If you have some, you tell me. Okay.
Okay, I will. I'm going to look for them. But, listen, like I mentioned, let's say goodbye here. Eddie just got home from work. I definitely want to get him on the show.
Okay.
It is his show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'd love to have you on the entire time.
I know, because like you said, everybody loved me. So
They really do. They really do. But let's let Eddie have a turn. We're saying goodbye. And you know what I thought would be appropriate as you leave the studio? Manny Pacquiao's song.
Oh yeah, lalaban ako sa Filipino.
Is that? Yes.
Yeah, that means I fight for the Filipinos. But for people that don't know, Manny Pacquiao sing that song, and he record that song for his walkout music when he walks to the ring for the fight.
He recorded his own walkout music.
He did, yes.
And it would feel really cheesy and silly if Mayweather did it.
Yeah.
Because this isn't racist. It would be a rap song. Right? He's not going to do a ballad.
Okay, that's a little racist.
All right, fine. Or a rock song, or maybe he'd have Bieber.
Yeah, probably Justin Bieber.
He walks out to the fights. This is the kind of guy Mayweather is. He's such a showman that, I don't know, 2 or 3 fights ago, do you think he paid Justin Bieber, or it's like an alliance?
I don't think he is an alliance or he pay him. I think Justin Bieber want to come out so that he has, the credibility, because he tried to act all, tough all the time.
He thinks he's tough.
But, whatever.
But imagine this. The man is about to fight a professional boxing match, and he walks out with Justin Bieber. What a spectacle.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's going to walk out with Justin Bieber. I'll tell you who Manny Pacquiao should walk out with. The Pope. He just one up his ass, show his Christian faith, and people would go crazy for the Pope.
That's a good idea, but I don't think the Pope is going to accept that.
Hey, listen, anything's possible. It's the biggest fight ever.
Yeah.
What's a bigger fight? Tyson, Holyfield, or
I don't think so.
Ali and Frazier?
Ali Frazier is a pretty big fight, but this is money-wise is the biggest fight ever. Yeah. But it's been a long time before two of the best boxers were in the same weight class.
Okay.
So it's been a long time coming.
It's exciting. It's very exciting to have you on the show, Mr. Galindo. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
I hope it doesn't take another Pacquiao fight to have you back on the program. Hopefully you stop by again soon.
Well, if you have the San Miguel, maybe I'll stay with you a little bit.
You got it. I'm going to look for the San Miguels.
Okay.
Will you do me a favor? Will you walk out and grab Eddie?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Give him a hug for me.
I will. Bye, everyone.
All right. Well, Eddie, welcome back to the studio.
Thanks.
Give my thanks to your father.
I will, yeah.
He didn't talk any shit?
That's good to hear.
I think he's just too jazzed about this fight.
I think most Filipinos are.
Right. I mean, I can't think of anything in America that an American would be this excited about and have this much collective pride.
Yeah.
America is so fucked up and splintered and weird right now.
Yeah, totally.
We need something. We need our own Manny Pacquiao. Who's going to be America's Manny Pacquiao?
That's hard to say, man.
And it can't be some lily white weirdo.
Yeah.
Like a quote-unquote stereotypical American. It's got to be the melting pot person that we all just gays like him, the conservatives like him,
Totally.
the blacks and the Jews, all of them.
The Bruce Jenner of our generation.
Is it Bruce Jenner?
Because he was like, when he won the gold, right?
Right.
Like, America fucking loved that guy, right?
Totally.
But, I mean, obviously, it can't be a fucking white dude, though.
Well, maybe it's Bruce Jenner.
Again?
Just, like the second coming of Bruce Jenner. Resurrected. He's ushering in an era of positivity and acceptance. Not just tolerance.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that in my women's studies class in... No. It was a gay class I took about...
Oh, that's not nice to say.
No. Dude, this class was super gay. No, really, it was like a gay and lesbian lives class or something.
I think you've told me about that class before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember there was these it was a pyramid, and tolerance is not enough. Like you tolerate a cold. You tolerate racism. You don't tolerate a thing like this. You have to accept it.
Yeah.
Into your heart. So maybe Bruce Jenner then. The second coming of Bruce.
Yeah.
We'll get behind him. We don't have to talk about that. That story had happened, I think, last Friday. It already feels like a month ago.
It totally does, yeah.
News cycle. It's already... I guess the Baltimore riots probably helped stamp out Bruce Jenner a little bit. He's probably pumped.
You think so?
He's excited about the riots.
I don't know.
Get
about
me out
that,
of the
man.
news. Or you think he wanted to be in the news longer?
Well, he's got a fucking documentary about his transition.
True.
Like, he's obviously not afraid of the cameras.
Yeah, and maybe he feels like... I didn't watch the interview. I really want to. I was at a video game night.
Oh,
which, spoiler alert, is my real treat. Save that for later in the show. But we need something. So... Back to the thing, Manny Pacquiao, very exciting.
Yeah.
And shout out to your dad. Thank you. So, little show business. Dun, 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 dun. As promised last week, the shirts are done.
Nice.
And they're online, and we have our new logo.
Yeah.
Our new identity. We've been rebranded by a good friend and fan of the show, a fellow named Brian Gossett. Mm-hmm. So, go to his website. It's brianmichaelgossett.com. And he did the new logo for us. It's awesome. And go to our website, saveitfortheshow.com. So if you don't follow us on Twitter, if you don't follow us on Facebook, there's really no way you're going to be able to find the link to the store.
Yeah.
It's a long, weird URL. And I can't say it out loud. What are you going to get, a pencil and write it down? You're probably driving in your car. Reach in your glove box, pull out a pad of paper, drive off the fucking road, and then I'll be blamed for your death. Don't do that. Just when you get to your office in the morning or you get home at night, go to saveitfortheshow.com, and at the very top of the page, there's a banner that says, click here for the shirts. Mm-hmm. Or there's a new section of our website called merch.
Oh, shit. Son.
Merch. And it's all there. So I ended up doing that one website. It's called Teespring. Check it out. The coolest thing about it is there's women's sizes, there's men's sizes. There's like V-necks. You can get a sweatshirt, but it's not cafe press.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with that, that site's garbage.
Yeah.
It's shitty. The quality's garbage, and it's not the kind of stuff. This Teespring, they have really nice shirts, and it's really nicely printed. Mm. So it's the kind of shirt you're not going to feel like, ugh, I bought this shirt to support Dan and Eddie, and it's fucking terrible. I'm never going to wear it.
Yeah.
You'll actually wear it.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
And the shirts look dope.
They look great.
Yeah.
They look really great. And so they're on there. I think we're going to make mugs.
Oh, nice.
Which would be cool. I didn't even really think about that. But you know what? Some people just don't want a shirt.
Yeah.
But a mug is pretty dope.
Yeah.
And easy.
Yeah.
So shout out to listener Meg for recommending we get some coffee mugs. Going to look into that. And after I just pissed and shit all over Cafe Press, that may be where we have to do it. Because it's a mug, right? Who cares about a mug? There'll be a fine.
Can you get colored mugs?
Probably.
Because I think that black shirt looks
I like
great.
the black one too.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
Yeah, the black one is the hottest selling one right now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That's the other thing that's super cool is we've already sold a bunch.
That's awesome, dude.
So almost like a Kickstarter, we only have to sell 10 of each color. Mm-hmm. We've almost already sold 10 of each color. So that's going to happen. That's really cool. So do it. SaveItForTheShow.com. You can finally get a t-shirt. Thank you to everyone for being patient.
Yeah.
Thank you to Brian for the sweet new art. And if you do go to our site, you'll see, and in iTunes too, that's the other thing. it's going to update in iTunes.
Oh, nice.
That picture that I took of the San Francisco Bridge, our old logo, say goodnight. Goodnight, sweet prince. You know, that logo and that picture served us well for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
That's crazy.
And just like Bruce Jenner, we're transitioning, Eddie. From the old to the new. We were a decathlete, and now we're a modern, amazing, courageous person spreading filthy gospel. And that's us. So, pat on the back.
Yeah, go cop that hotness.
Get that hotness. All right. I got a lot of grief about last week's show from my wife. Mm-hmm. She's like, this show's so long. This show's so long. And I thought to myself, you're right. It was a long show. It felt like the energy level to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, you and I are artists. All right. And I'm not above a critique. And when I did listen back, maybe we did seem kind of tired. But, we're just humans, Eddie.
I mean, yeah.
We got shit to deal with, too.
Yeah, if you prick us, do we not bleed?
And cry hard. So I'm feeling great this week. And maybe it's the shirts.
Yeah, it might be.
And meeting your dad again.
Yeah, and obviously the fight. Cause,
the fight.
Come on.
It's all I can think about, Eddie. And I'm just excited to be alive. And so, yeah, so it's good times.
Yeah.
Show's come a long way. So last week, I meant to talk about this on the show, and I can talk about it now because it's over, is I had to do jury duty. Oh. Did you have to do it?
I'm still on call. Yeah.
All week?
I've had to call every day, yeah.
Man.
So hopefully I don't have to do it.
How nerve-wracking is that? So I'm assuming in other states this is how it works, but in California you get the letter in the mail, and everyone loathes having to be a juror.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad because if you got into some shit, wouldn't you want a good jury? Would you want the fucking
people that care?
People that care, or do you want the idiot, who watches daytime talk shows? Who has time to be a juror, who's happy.
Totally.
They get that thing in the mail and they say, holy shit, yes, I have some purpose.
I'm going to make a difference in someone's life.
Yes. And those are the kind of people that, if they want to make a good difference, I want them. But I think a lot of other people are kind of idiots. And when I went and showed up, that was confirmed.
Yeah.
I mean, there were definitely a lot of people who I wouldn't want to hold the door open for me. Let alone decide my fate.
Yeah, totally.
These 12 jurors, they really, that's a lot of power to throw in their hands. So you get this thing in the mail. Normal people like you and I think like, oh shit, I got to take off work. That's a bad week. Got things going on. Like you start thinking all these normal person thoughts, and which I did. And then what they do to you in California is they say, all right, the night before your due date, you have to call this number. Maybe you'll be selected.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't. So all day long, you don't know. Like, tomorrow, do I have to take work off?
Yeah.
Or not?
Yeah.
Can you just fucking tell me? Could I have a tiny bit of a heads up? No. You have to wait till 5 p.m. the night before, and then maybe.
Yeah.
So all week you're on eggshells, right? I mean, tomorrow will be Thursday.
Yeah.
And every day you've had to do this dance.
Yeah, it's a bitch.
It's annoying. So when I got called to the dance on the first day.
Oh, did you?
No, second day.
Oh,
So
okay,
Monday,
okay.
I was like, whew,
Yeah.
I made it. I'm saved. Called Monday night. You are due to report. So I roll in, and you sit in this room for an hour. Like, I just sat there with all these other people, and everyone's on their phone.
Yeah.
Everybody is on their cell phone. I feel like I haven't been in a place like that where I've been around that many strangers. Maybe the airport. Mm-hmm. I mean, the airport, everyone's definitely on their cell phone, but that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Here, it just was everybody's on a cell phone. There's some old people, some oldies, reading books.
Okay.
Who reads a book? It was like an actual book, not a Kindle or on their phone.
Fucking assholes.
Ugh. So I was playing some Hearthstone in there, having a good time with my Hearthstone game. And we're all just sitting there, and then this video comes on. And it's a half an hour about why it's important to be a juror. And man, if this thing isn't on the internet, I really hope it is, because it looked like Tim and Eric made it. Like, it was so stupid. And it wasn't old. It was from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But they had real jurors, and that was the mistake. Because they were idiots. They were not paid actors. So they were normal people.
Yeah.
They were sweating. Like the lights must have been hot in the studio. Everybody was really greasy.
That's awesome.
I mean, I don't know. It was very poorly done. And at least 10 times I laughed. Like, and no one else laughed. But it was so painful. It was funny. And it made me laugh. Sit in this room for an hour. And then they finally say, okay, the judges and the lawyers are ready. Mm-hmm. And I haven't been in jury duty in years, for years. So this was all new to me. And it's a brand new courthouse, too. Mm-hmm. So it was very nice. So we walk into the room. And there's the lawyers are sitting there. And they're super young women.
Really?
It made me feel so old, Eddie. I'm 34. You're 33, right?
No, I'll be 31 in May.
What? I thought you were only 1 year younger than me.
No.
You're hella young, then. You're super young, Eddie. Not to say you look old.
Yeah.
Or you seem 33. I just thought for some reason you were 1 year younger.
No.
Okay.
I'm a youngster.
That's right, because you're Kristen's age.
Yeah.
Not Nicole's age.
Yeah.
Kristen, my wife's sister, Eddie's wife. Anyhow, all right, but these women were in their late 20s.
Okay.
And they were good-looking, like normal, professional businesswomen in their business suits with their hair tied up. Like, I'm like, whoa, okay. You know, I was expecting some grizzled old white dudes.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I was expecting? The woman from Serial, Adnan, what was her name?
Oh, man.
Gloria.
Was it Gloria?
Was it Gloria?
I can't remember.
I don't remember. But she had a voice. Yeah. Adnan's in prison because of her. That woman's voice was so awful. They played clips on Serial of her in the courtroom, and it was just terrible. I mean, it was, wow.
Yeah.
These were not that woman. They were young, well-spoken. They were smiling. And then there was a man there in a suit sitting next to one of the lawyers. And, okay, this is the crook.
Yeah.
Like, this is the guy. Like, whatever's going on, you don't know. But here he is. Here's the thief. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was a DUI. Maybe he killed somebody.
Yeah.
He'd probably be in chains or something. Ooh, that would have been good. But he was a handsome young guy in a suit. And we all sit in, and then they call out 12 names. Mm-hmm. And if you don't get called, you don't have to go sit on the bench. Like you're in the jury box. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're in the audience.
Gotcha.
So they call 12 names. And again, anytime they start drawing from this hat and they start, circling the lottery bingo balls, everyone gets dead quiet. You can feel the tension of, please don't call my name. Please don't call my name. And, they called 12 people. Whew, didn't call my name.
Yeah.
And then they called 6 alternates. Whew, didn't call my name. And so all these people are sitting out in the courtroom, and the rest of us are in the audience. Mm-hmm. And then all rise, here comes the judge.
Yeah.
And the judge comes in, and immediately it's clear that this guy really enjoys the sound of his own voice. He should have a podcast. Because he's like, everyone stand, look around. There's a POW flag. There's an Army flag. I know a lot of you people don't want to be here. And he really went into this 10-minute long spiel about this is your civic duty. Meanwhile, I felt bad for the lawyers.
Yeah.
And this poor guy.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, I did a crime. I have to listen to this judge pontificate. And he's like, raise a hand. Who here is a veteran? Raise a hand. Who here is friends of a veteran? Like, it's like, dude, just fucking come on.
Yeah.
Please.
Seriously.
And he's like, I just feel like if you don't want to be here, you should be ashamed because there's people that died for you to be here. And so then he says, okay, so now, having said that, who here has a reason why you shouldn't be here? Because, a lot of people say, yeah, go in there and say the N-word.
Yeah.
You're going to go in a room and yell the N-word out in front of 200 strangers? Great. Good. Do it. You deserve to not be in jury duty because you are brave. Or they say, go in there and act weird or say that you'd be impartial or say that you're very busy or something. After that judge made a 10-minute long speech about it, he even said there's websites out there, and I've read them all, that tell you what to say to me or the lawyer, and I know every trick.
Really?
And so don't even try it. Now, who here wants to, say something? Because before I went there, Nicole said, tell them that, you have to work, and if you don't work, you're very busy or something. Not like, she didn't nag me like that. That's just my terrible white voice. Sorry, honey. But I said, you're right. Like, I'll try because I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And I couldn't say it after that.
Yeah.
Nobody said a thing. Not one person stood up. One guy on the jury box stood up, and he looked like he was about to die.
Really?
He said, I'm sick. I have the flu. And he started coughing, and the judge said, all right, you're out. Get out of here. and that was fine.
Yeah.
But no one else said a word. And then he did this whole thing where they were grilling these people in the jury. And they said the last thing I'll say about this is they made the crook stand up. Mm-hmm. And I think I can talk about this. It was a criminal case. Mm-hmm. And it was a guy who did reckless driving, and he ran away from the cops. Okay. But his story was he didn't know he was getting pulled over. I don't know. Listen, that's in my mind. I know he's supposed to be innocent.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's guilty. How you not know if the cop's trying to pull you over? And apparently he sped up or something. And he just, I don't know. I didn't get all the details.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue. But at one point he stands up and the judge says, please look at everyone in the audience. And do you know anyone in the audience? Mm-hmm. He's looking around, and then he sees someone that he knows, and the woman raises her hand, and she's like, yes, I know him. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
You're on trial.
That's crazy.
You look in the audience, and you see someone from your neighborhood, a teacher, a friend.
Wow.
Yeah, and you have to do that with everybody. Like, the lawyers had to say that, because if you know somebody, like one woman knew a cop. She said her husband was killed in the line of duty, and of course the judge talked about that for 10 minutes. Anyways, I didn't get picked. And I got lucky, too, because then they play this game. Like, I didn't realize this, but the lawyers will dismiss a juror. Like, dismiss this one, dismiss that one. They go back and forth until they have the pool they want, and they kept calling more people up. But I made it. I didn't have to do it, Eddie, and
nice.
And here I am. So that's that. One thing, I know we haven't done a goat. What's getting our goat? That was a fun segment. We should maybe bring that back. But before you and I started the show, I mentioned that YouTube guy with the black Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Have you seen this guy?
Yeah.
So if anyone's looked at it, and maybe you and I are seeing this because, I don't know, are these targeted to young men?
Yeah.
We're not young. Okay, I already said. And men, because I can't imagine most people would see this, or maybe everyone's seen this. Anyways, it's a pre-roll ad on YouTube of this guy. And it's like a shaky handy cam, which it's so obvious he did it this way on purpose. Mm-hmm. This guy could have paid $1 million to get the nicest video in the world. He chose a shitty, hey, I'm just like you. Oh, but here behind me is my black Lamborghini. And when I'm cruising through the Hollywood Hills in my black Lamborghini, that's not important to me. What's important to me is books. And he turns around. And he's got, the coolest thing is all these books I had to get installed because I read a book a day. And it's the guy, and this is what's terrible, is he loves when people probably give him shit. Yeah. Because he seems pretty self-aware, but he's like filthy rich, and he's one of these guys that he gets rich by telling other people how to get rich. Yeah. But you really don't know exactly what it is. Like, you should be able to say to him, give me 5 things I can do. Here they are. Results may vary. Yeah. It's like a scam.
Totally.
And you go to his website, and it's all beautiful girls, and he's talking about what he's doing, and of course, he reads a book a day. Congratulations. Yeah. And, I don't know, but it's just, if anyone has seen this guy on the internet, you'll agree that he's absolutely terrible. He's the worst.
He's a douche.
He's coming on the show. No, that would be funny. I bet you probably would come on.
And we just make fun of him the whole time.
I meant to do that with, you remember that woman who danced like a horse?
Yes.
What was that? Prancing?
It was prancing?
Prancing, something like that. I could have gotten her on the show, and I didn't because I didn't think it would be funny unless we made fun of her. Yeah. And she's too nice. This guy deserves to be at a club, and he's got a bottle or two. Mm-hmm. He's got 4 or 5 beautiful women around him. Someone needs to come up to him and punch him in the face and break his glasses. Like, he seems like he needs, like, a dose of reality. And he's like, I was poor. I slept on a couch. Did you? I don't know, man. But you got to calm down a little bit. Totally. Your shtick is a little thick. So, anyhow, yeah. That guy.
Thick shtick. I like that.
I don't even know his name, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. If you've ever seen this knucklehead. The other day I was at baseball with Grant, my son, who's 6. And it's a very old baseball field, and the bleachers that the kids sit on are made out of wood. And Grant ran by them and said, "Ow, Dad, I got a splinter." Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, fine, yeah. He's like, no, it hurts really bad. And I looked down at his pants, and his baseball pants are ripped. And I say, whoa, like, okay, let me take a look. And I kind of open his pants. He's like, Dad, no. don't, come on. And I'm like, no, come on, man. Let me look in your pants. So I said, just let me, look, no one can see.
Yeah.
It's okay. And I open his pants a little bit, and there is a huge, it looks like a piece of pencil lead.
Oh, wow.
Is jagged in his thigh.
Jeez.
And so I reach down to pull it out, and it breaks off.
Oh.
And when it breaks off, it kind of like sucks back in, and it's in there.
Yeah.
And I'm not even kidding. It was seriously the size of like a thick piece of pencil lead, and it was in it, and he's crying. And so I say to the team mom, or the team parent, I guess. There are no team dads. The moms, they do all that shit.
Yeah.
She's got the first aid kit, and I take it, and I get a tweezer and a Band-Aid, and there's no bathrooms.
Yeah.
So I say, look, let's go right behind those bushes. You're going to have to pull your pants down, and I will get this tweezer out. He's like, well, there's kids playing around there. I said, they're not going to see us. We'll be in the bushes. Don't worry. So I take my son, who's 6, and a small kid, over into the bushes. We're kind of hiding there. And I pull his pants down, so you can kind of see his underoos behind him. His back is facing the field. And I kneel down in front of him, and I'm, like fixing on his upper thigh. I mean, just imagine the visual here, okay? And he's, I'm trying to get this thing out. He's crying out, screaming, because I kept thinking I had the splinter, but I was actually grabbing his skin and kind of like just destroying the flesh on his poor little leg. And he's crying out. And so these little kids hear a kid crying. And I look up, and there's a girl standing there, a little girl. And I say, oh, hey, it's fine. Sweetheart, it's my son. Like, I'm telling her my story as if she thinks something's going on. Like, oh, hey, everything's cool. This boy is not being molested. He's my son. We're good. I promise.
Don't tell your mom.
But, yeah, if you tell your mom, I will kill you. So, and she's like, oh, and she runs away. And I couldn't get it out. And he's screaming and crying, and I felt so bad. And I did think to myself how funny it would have been if a grown-up came over.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on over here? And I'd be like, oh, no. No, it's fine. But my life is not that close to a sitcom. It gets close.
Yeah.
But not that close.
That reminds me of a story. I think I've told it on the show before, like one of the earlier episodes. But I was like, how old is Grant?
He's 6.
6. I was probably like 7 or 8. And we were at the beach. I think it was like Venice Beach or something. And it was time to leave. And my dad said to go shower off. You know how they have the showers outside?
Right, yes.
And I was like, okay. And I started showering off. And I had my swimming trunks on still. He's like, take off your trunks and shower your whole body. I'm like, no, there's people walking by.
Right.
And it got to the point where he's like angry with me. He's like, just do it. Nobody cares. You're a little kid. Like,
right.
And he's like, just take off your shorts and shower real quick.
Well, you know what they say? Is that's the time when you know your kids are too old.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to take a shower, or Grant, who's 6, asked me to take a shower with him the other day. And I said to Nicole, like, I don't care. And she said, he'll tell you when he's too old for that.
Yeah.
My older son, Evan, who's 8, he wouldn't want me to take a shower. And I'm fine with that. But, anyway, so I think that was the day your dad should have been like, you know what?
No.
I'm going to lay up on you, Etty. It's okay.
You sound like a mix between like a Russian guy and a Chinese guy.
Isn't that what Filipinos are?
Chinese Russians?
Oh, man. I know. I need to work on it.
But yeah, it was like one of the most embarrassing. Yeah, and he yelled at me.
Who
and
won
like
in this battle?
He did. Like,
got you naked.
Like, and I was crying. So I was crying, showering, and he was just like telling me to hurry up. And I'm like, oh my god, like so embarrassing.
You're crying. Your dad's yelling. You're naked.
Yes.
And it wouldn't have been that you would have been at the beach if you were like 12 or 13. That would be illegal.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was going to say you might not have been thinking in your head like, Dad, I'm trying to mac on some girls because 8-year-olds don't mac.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they try, but not really. Not really. That's funny. Well, listen, I guess I have that in common with your dad. We embarrass our kids.
Yes.
And we love Manny Pacquiao. And some beer. I'm going to try to find a beer.
Yeah.
A Filipino beer, San Miguel.
Yeah, totally.
I wonder if we have any listeners in the Philippines. That would be super cool.
Yeah, that would be.
They could send us some San Miguel, a gift package.
I wonder if you can get it like a Bevmo or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
We should look into it.
Totally.
We have a listener, quite a few listeners from Germany. We got a really nice letter.
Nice.
From a German listener. So I'll tease that. I'll read that when we get to our listener section, which is coming right up. So, all right, that's it about the slivers. I have a public service announcement.
Okay.
That I think fell out of favor, and I want to tell people that you still can do this.
Okay.
So we all have utilities, right? We have cable, phone, internet, whatever. And I feel like a couple years ago, people would say, hey, call your shit, tell them you're going to leave, or give me a better deal.
Yeah.
Or I'm out. And I think a lot of people, that freaks them out. Like, I probably shouldn't take that for granted. That maybe is kind of a scary call. Like, what's the person going to yell at you? No, I'm not giving you a deal. But for other people who just say, fuck it, like me, fine, I'll call.
Yeah.
I get bad news on the phone all the time. I don't care. I'll call some asshole. And you used to be able to do that, and they would say, sure. But then I tried this about a year ago. Like, I don't know if I'm frugal or a cheapo, but once a year I sit down and I say, okay, I'm calling everyone. I'm going to spend 2 hours on a Saturday, and I'm calling AT&T. I'm calling the cable company. And sure enough, at least once a year, maybe you get it knocked down. Well, last year I tried. Nobody did.
Really?
Pretty much across the board, they said, sorry, can't help you.
Huh.
And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna quit.
I'll do it.
I'm gonna do it. Listen, I'm gonna do it. And they said, sure, sir. Fuck you. They called my bluff. And then I pulled that move where I said, I better talk to my wife. Man, I'll tell you, I love my wife for lots of reasons, not just physical ones. But to have her as an excuse, and to have my kids as an excuse.
Yeah.
You know what, sir, I'd love to do this. I got to talk to my wife. Any salesman, I think Better Call Saul had a funny scene with that, where the what was their name? The Kettlemans.
Oh, yeah.
The husband was ready to sign, but he had to talk to his wife. Better make sure.
Yeah.
Better talk about this. Anyways, and I pulled that line. And when you have kids, too, you can get out of any
Totally.
engagement if you just say that you have kids. But either way, I tried it again. I was going to get rid of Sirius XM, and I really was. And I think that's the secret. Before I would call in, and I would only make it past the first line of defense. The salespeople, they say, sir, I can't do anything. They're probably telling you the truth.
Yeah.
You need to get to the inner chamber. And I called Sirius to seriously cancel. No pun intended there. I really wanted to cancel. Don't need it. I don't care. My phone works in my car great. It's an $80, or it was $100 a year or something. I'd rather have that.
Yeah.
So I called, said, I want to cancel. Boom, made it to the next level. I said, I want to cancel. And the woman said, hold on a second. And she came back on with the craziest deal ever. It was like half price, more channels, and it's like 2 years.
What?
I said, listen, I can't say no to that.
Yeah.
Honey, sister.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Thanks, babe. And I took it. So this is a PSA to say, do it.
Okay.
Have the courage to call these people. Don't take no for an answer. Just like when you're buying a car, you got to walk away.
Yeah.
And you proverbially walk away on the phone, say you're going to quit, and maybe they'll give you a deal. Because you can always, at the very last minute, say, I got to talk to my wife. I got to ask my wife.
Yeah.
And they'll say, okay, sir.
Totally.
That's the wife clause. Get back to us. And everything will be okay. So do that.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, let's talk about our listener emails.
Okay.
We got a handful in comments this week. I'll motor through these really quick. So, good friend of the show, a guy named Seb, he sent me a link to a book on Amazon, and this is the title of the book, okay? You ready for this? Pounded in the Butt by My Own Butt.
What?
That's the name of this book.
That's a real book.
That's a real book. And it's an erotic story of a scientist who recreates his own butt, and then his own butt has sex with his butt. Okay, here's the deal. There are people out there writing bizarro jerk-off stories.
Yeah.
And they're making a lot of money doing it. So Google that. Pounded in the Butt by My Own Butt. I'll post the link on our Twitter or something.
I can't even understand. Like, how is your butt gonna have sex with your butt?
Well, I read the story. No. And I just jerked off furiously.
I couldn't get past first page. So
the first page. Listen, the first page I came, and that was it.
Couldn't tell you.
I can't get past the first page. No, I don't know. It sounds so silly, but I don't know if I want to have such an absurd amount of comedy with my pornography.
Yeah.
I'm a classic guy.
Is that comedy, though, or are there people out there that fantasize about their butts having sex with their own butt? It doesn't make any sense, dude.
That's the thing.
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't even know if it was a... But then there was another... I kind of think it's like a super, super meta joke. Like it's crazy long con comedy. Because there was another story that was like the sequel to Pounded in My Butt by my own butt. And it was even more absurd. So I look into that. It gave me a laugh. If you want an internet laugh,
Yeah.
give that a look. So
Did you read any of the reviews? Like, I'm sure those are great.
I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, they're probably jokes too or something. I mentioned an email and a listener from Germany, a guy named Bernard, wrote us a really nice email.
Nice.
And he brought something to my attention, which is on Reddit in the podcast board. There is a top comment. There's a top thread about what everyone's favorite podcast is. And the top comment in there, just by chance, we're in that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this just means that a person just said, like, my favorite shows are How Did This Get Made? You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes, Joe Rogan, and Save It for the Show. So we're just happened to be one of these guys. But that comment was so popular because of all those other popular shows.
Yeah.
So if anyone else is here because of that Reddit comment, hello.
And welcome.
Yeah, and thanks for sticking around. We are as good as those shows. Damn it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so thanks for that, Bernard. And he also sent a funny story that I thought was pretty cool. So Pornhub, you know that website? Not
Obviously.
familiar with it. Well, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
I'm assuming it has pornography on it. But some guy, I guess, apparently was jerking off, and he smashed. His mom was coming upstairs, so the website froze, and he couldn't. I guess he couldn't just close his laptop because maybe it was that frozen. So he punched a hole in his laptop. He was so afraid of his mom catching him jerking off that he punched a hole in his computer, and then he tweeted about it and mentioned Pornhub. Well, Pornhub caught wind of the tweet and sent him a free computer.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So a little PR for them. And this gentleman, and it made me kind of sad that, you know, if I don't know how young this gentleman was, but a guy should have some privacy. You shouldn't be that scared. First of all, shame on him for, I don't know, doing it during the day. That's a rookie move. You know my move.
Yes.
He's in the shower or late night. I mean, come on, man.
Yes.
You can't get home from school, have a snack, and be in your room during homework and just start jerking off. No. But this is kind of scary, too, because I didn't have a computer.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine, like, oh, Mom, I'm going upstairs to do my homework on my computer. Boom. Pornhub.
Yeah.
You know, and what if you don't have savvy parents? Like, I feel like I can put my kid's shit on lockdown.
Oh, yeah.
And on the router, I could say, well, what about data on his cell phone? If you could go to Pornhub on your phone, oh, God, Eddie, we are in for it, man.
Seriously,
What
man.
are we going to do?
Well, I don't have boys, so
You're right.
I mean, maybe some girls watch porn.
None. I mean, yeah. What high school girls are watching porn? They may masturbate once a month, once a week, even. But high school guys jerk off every day.
Yeah,
every fucking
multiple times a day, probably.
Sometimes, you know. I mean, they're walking around with a loaded gun. That needs a lot of pressure to relieve. So anyhow, I thought that was a funny story.
Yeah.
Thanks for sending that in. And both these emails, both from Seb and Bernard, made me think, send in funny stories like that, folks.
Yeah.
That's great.
Totally.
If something tickles your fancy, JoJo sent in last week about the sex and all that stuff. That's great. It's good for the show. Share some shit with us, and, you know, that's a good time.
Yeah.
So another email we got was, now this is the friend of the guy who wrote us in about the teen stuff.
Yeah.
So remember, this guy named Colin wrote us a really nice email. He's in high school, and he was dying to know about our high school stories.
Yeah.
Which I hope, you know, okay, this is what Nicole said. She said that I led with the most boring story first. And she's right. And I think the Facebook thing was too long and too boring. Okay. Whatever. Let's critique last week's show, the whole thing. So anyhow, we told our stories per his request. And a buddy of his named Iman, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, Iman, he wrote in to say, well, here, I got a story of your own about Colin. ratting out his dude. But this is really funny. So, and I hope, I don't know, what am I going to cause a fight here? If they fight in real life, they should just laugh. Because I think this story is hilarious.
Yeah.
So this guy is smart, and when I was in junior high, I remember a kid would sell Airheads. You know Airheads?
Yeah.
You know those like little chewy plastic candies?
Yeah.
And what probably really happened is his parents went to Costco, and he was at school, sent him to school like, yeah, man, sell these Airheads for a quarter.
Totally.
Because that's really what he had. He had Costco amount of stuff. And I don't think you're allowed to do that. I think maybe he sold it on the bus.
Yeah.
You really can't go to school and sell shit. They have their own snack stores, right?
Yeah.
Well, this kid is smart. He apparently looks very old for his age, and he was buying cans of dip.
Okay.
You know, tobacco.
Yeah.
And, and he was selling them to the kids at school. So he's like kind of a drug dealer, but not
Yeah.
a tobacco dealer, which I thought was really funny. And, yeah, like very industrious young man. So he wrote an email to share his friend's story about that. So I don't know if you're dipping and listening to the show, great.
Yes.
I feel like dipping right now.
How many times have you dipped in your life?
Oh, I don't know, 10 times.
Okay. I'm probably the same.
Not a lot.
The few times I've done it, I've gotten sick. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't
Did
think
you swallow it.
I think I may have, but every time I was drunk too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Do it when you're sober. I do it when I camp. Man, I feel like a man. Just grab my dick, just spitting all over the camp. That's the thing about like these sunflower seeds I was talking about on a show ago.
Yeah.
Just spitting all over the fucking baseball diamond. Like my dad on a golf course. Just pissing everywhere. Just holding his dick, and a lot of times he's hitting the ball with the golf club and just pissing.
I thought you were going to say with his dick.
His dick, it's big, but it's not that big. And maybe he could putt in.
Okay.
That'd be some shit. That would not scar me for life. So thank you, everybody. Yeah, keep the emails coming. Everyone is fantastic. We're at 98 reviews. I mean, I hate to keep mentioning it on the show, but every time I do, we just want to break 100.
Yeah.
You know, somebody wrote in this is confusing to me. Here's the title of the review is adequate, which to me doesn't mean great.
Yeah.
Adequate means okay.
Yeah, like if something is, as far as a podcast goes, if it's adequate, why are you even listening to it? Like that doesn't, you know what I mean?
Well, this is why it's confusing. They give us 5 stars and listen to this review. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and this one keeps me entertained. I'm approximately the age of the hosts, so I get all the humor. This is a new world where everyone is very PC. It's refreshing to hear a host not be. Great review. That's not adequate, dog.
Yeah.
You're confused. Either way, love it. Appreciate it. You know, got a really nice one from a woman named Lauren and another woman named Meg.
Nice.
So a lot of Megs listen to this show. And also from a user named SLS. So appreciate that. You know who you are.
Yes.
SLS.
Appreciate the review.
Yeah, appreciate you listening. And yeah, so keep them coming. We're at 98. I mean, you know, SLS is our mother-in-law. All right? And I know she listens. And it took her this long to review the show, which is no slight against her at all. It's a pain in the ass. But it made me realize that even if my own, well, not flesh and blood, but my mother-in-law, who I love and loves the show, it was even difficult for her to leave a review. So no judgment here.
Yeah, totally.
Listen, here's what you got to do. Either buy a shirt or leave a review.
Yes.
Or do both. But either way, much appreciate SLS for doing that. And that's it. Should we do our real treats and skedaddle?
Totally.
So, look, you got in trouble on the show.
I did.
Now you can finally have, this is the true real treat. And maybe next week it'll be the real treat, the aftermath.
Hopefully it is. I'm hoping it is.
What's your real treat this week,
My
Eddie?
real treat is My Little Ponies. Hell
yeah.
Obviously, the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight.
Who?
Is some guy named Man Pack?
Pac-Man?
Man Packs.
Man? Oh. Wow. Could you imagine if they got him?
They totally should,
The entire company, you know, Man Packs, which was a sponsor of ours. We should get them back on.
We should.
I want some more underwear.
Yeah. The socks are dope, too. Need some of those.
Look at that. Free ad. That's what you get when you sponsor Save for the Show. We went to Squarespace. Offer code SAVE IT. All right? Lunch Pack. Munchpack.com. I don't forget. I don't forget who supports us. I'll bring you back for free. So yeah, either way.
Yes.
So that's your real treat.
Yeah, real treat, man. Super excited for the fight, obviously. I think everyone else should be.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, hopefully it's going to be a great fight. It's possible that it could be boring.
Or end really quick.
Yeah. Well, I don't see Mayweather knocking out Pacquiao. He's not a big Mayweather's not a big puncher.
They're both tiny guys.
Yeah, but I mean Pacquiao has a pretty strong punch, so
right.
It's possible he can stop Mayweather. But Mayweather's known for, because you can't hit him, like people get bored. It's not really action packed, but Manny Pacquiao is definitely an action fighter, so hopefully it works out. But
what about all these people? I don't want to say fair weather fans, but I almost feel this is Super Bowl level of watching.
Yeah.
It's going to be happening. And these folks who never watch a boxing match, they're going to a party. I mean, I'm going to a party.
Yeah.
I got invited to like 2 or 3 parties. Hey, we're getting the fight. Come on down.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a lot of people like that. You know, it'll be funny. I think you're going in it. I feel happy now that I know a little more backstory. So thank you for that. I think it was my sister maybe who, or somebody else, sorry if I forgot who, said, I wasn't really excited about the fight. Now I am. So, Eddie, you're putting money in the pocket.
Yes.
You're doing your part for the Philippines.
Yes.
As well. What time does the fight start?
The actual pay-per-view starts at like 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
I think they're having 2 undercard bouts, so it's possible the main event won't start till like 8 or 9.
Wow.
Unless the first 2 fights go super fast.
What time will that be in the Philippines? 3 in the morning or something?
Yeah, they're like 16 hours ahead.
Oh, never mind
like that. So,
okay, so that's quite a bit.
Yeah, and it's free in the Philippines.
That's
it's free in
amazing.
Mexico too, actually.
Let's go to Mexico.
We should.
You know what I heard? It's the opposite of that here in America. So much so that at a bar, if you're just getting it, I think you have to pay per person or something. So if you get the fight, it just doesn't cost you $200. Or how much does the fight cost?
Yeah, it's going to be $100 if you get the HD version.
$100.
Yeah.
So you pay $100 as a bar. No, you actually need to pay like $1,000.
Yeah,
or something.
totally.
And so there are people. This is what this fucking company did. Who's I don't know. Who's like who owns this thing? Like the World Boxing Association.
There's no one organization that owns boxing, but it's the promotional company. So it's Top Rank for Pacquiao, and then Mayweather Promotions for Mayweather.
Oh, it's Mayweather Promotions.
He used to be with Top Rank, but then he left Top Rank to start his own thing because he felt like he was being ignored.
Okay.
Because at the time, Oscar De La Hoya, I'm sure you've heard that name. He was like the big guy. At Top Rank, so.
Okay, well, hey, listen, good for him. Smart guy.
Yeah.
Well, whoever it is, they're telling people, look, if you're at a bar and there's 100 people and they haven't paid, you let us know, and then you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
Like, we will get your beak wet by ratting out a bar.
Yeah.
So there's going to be assholes running around trying to narc on bars, which is going to scare the bars into spending more money. I mean, that is the opposite.
Yeah.
Of what's happening in these other cities.
Totally.
So, America, man. I tell you, it's never enough. So greedy.
So greedy.
Well, you should, I know you never use your Twitter or something, but you should tweet or Periscope or do something during the fight.
Because I'm going to a fight party, too, at my sister's house in Reno. But, like, I've been debating on whether or not just staying home and watching it alone because I don't want to be filled with a room with a bunch of people that don't know who these guys are. I want to watch and, like, be able to just sit there and really focus on the fight. Yeah. I don't want someone saying, well, how come he's so great? Like, No, just shut the fuck up, dude.
Who's this Mexican guy with the mustache?
Totally.
No, that's just Manny Pacquiao. Oh, okay.
No, the black guy.
Right. I mean, yeah, good luck with those people. Well, everyone's excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited too. That's not my real treat, but my real treat is a similar thing in that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. Last week, I did something incredibly nerdy. I did a grown man video game night, and it was so much fun.
It looked like fun.
Oh, dude, it was great. You know, we played. I don't have an Xbox One. I have an Xbox 360. So I've never even seen the graphics on the Xbox One. And my friend Garrett, who had us over to his house, had that, and he had Mortal Kombat, the new game. It's awesome. The graphics are so good.
Yeah.
And everything is so thought out. There is a unique animation for everything, and those fatalities were disgusting. Like, I'm serious. If my kids saw that, I would feel I would rather them see porno.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather them see a man's penis going inside a vagina. I feel like that would be easier for me to explain than some of these disgusting fatalities.
What about a butt pounding another butt?
The birds and the bees. That's the new birds and the bees. Or maybe that's just the birds and the birds. I don't know. But yeah. Daddy, what is that butt doing to that other butt? Butts don't have dicks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how?
Maybe it was a torso. But wouldn't that be my own dick pounded my own butt?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. You can't figure these things out, Eddie. Don't try. So Mortal Kombat was amazing. And my friend Robert, who is like a game guy, he's got all these board games. Mm-hmm. He brought all these adult board games, not nasty adult, but it's all sexual.
Kiss me here.
Yes, we basically played Spin the Bottle. 5 30-year-old men made out.
Hey, man, whatever you're into, dude.
It was cool.
Yeah.
And they're like adult in that they're difficult. And there's one that's really popular we didn't play. It's that Settlers of Catan. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. Kind of like that, where you really have to think. And this one we played, it was called Betrayal at Haunted Hill or House. I don't know. But if you're kind of a nerdy person and you want something fun to do with a group of other grown-ups, look into some of these games, these Settlers of Catan style games, because it was a blast.
Nice.
Like, you're playing against people, you're talking shit, you're kind of betraying each other, you don't know who's doing what, and you're rolling dice. So that's the other fun thing. Like, when you play a video game, you press a button, and the game essentially rolls dice in the game. Like, is this a hit? Is it not? But when you're controlling it with your own hand, it feels a lot more fun. It's a lot more visceral.
Yeah.
And you hear the clank of the dice, and you think like, oh my god, I gotta roll a 1, and if I don't roll a 1, I die. Oh shit, I rolled a 2! You suck! I mean, it's really fun. It's really, really fun. So,
fucking nerd.
Fine. Sorry, it's not Monopoly. Or maybe, Sorry is more your speed. Eddie.
Hungry hippos. Man.
There you go. It also made me excited. Like, I can't wait to when my own kids get a little older.
Yeah.
They couldn't handle this shit now.
Are you excited to, like, be able to talk shit to your kids?
I talk shit to them now.
Oh, do you?
No, I don't. In your face.
Yeah, bitch.
I don't know if I wouldn't say excited, but I think I would probably be happy to know I don't have to hold back as much.
Totally.
And I can kind of not worry, like, if I talk shit once, he's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, you could have one intense shit-talking session and ruin your kid.
Yeah.
Forever.
And that's what they'll remember about you when they're older.
I mean, really think about your parents. You probably have 30 memories. There's a million memories.
Yeah.
But maybe there's 30 touchstone memories.
Yeah.
Maybe less. I don't know. If I had to tell you 30 about my family right now, I'd have a hard time. Yeah. But if there was 20 and 3 of them were your dad yelling at you, that's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not worth it. So don't talk shit to your kids. And don't beat up your wife and have the police get called on you, Mayweather. So, all right. Well, my real treat is just that. Like, play board games, do a nerdy thing. You don't have to go, and that's the thing. I kind of thought I was going to super overdrink.
Yeah.
Like, why not? I rolled in there. Not one guy was drinking.
What?
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I came here to turn up.
Yeah.
I don't get out of the house very much, guys.
Showed up with some Mickeys and some grenades.
I should have. Party's here with, 8 grenades just ready to rumble. Nobody was drinking, and I brought one of those micheladas.
Okay.
Because I've never had one.
Yeah.
And I've been on such a Bloody Mary kick, I thought to myself, you know what? This is probably like a Bloody Mary, but with beer. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. But I thought, I'm bringing a weird beer.
Yeah.
This will be fun. Man, nobody was ready to party.
Did they any of them end up drinking?
Yeah.
At all?
Robert ended up drinking my beer. He didn't even bring beer. And, I brought like a 6-pack of beer. And he's like, hey, can I have one of your beers? I was like, man, I thought everybody was going to bring beer and get wasted. Of course you can have some of my beer. But, either way.
Oh, man.
So I was very lucent.
Yeah.
And I crushed in the video games. I played Mortal Kombat like a fucking machine.
Did you remember like the combos and the special moves?
But they've made it really easy now, too, to do the fatalities. You press start, and boom, they're right there.
Really?
It's nice. It's easy. It's because you want to see the fatalities.
Yeah.
The fatalities are when you beat the guy, you know what? Everybody knows what one is. And if they don't know what it is, they're probably like, all right, enough already.
Yeah.
Let's move on. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
So the show's over, and we went way too long. We went over an hour again.
Oh,
You know,
man.
sorry to my wife. She's going to be mad. But there's a lot of other people that, you know, they say they like the long ones.
Yeah.
So fine. We can't please them all, Eddie. So we're saying goodbye, and a friend of the show who tweets at me a lot, he's a super cool dude. His name's Christopher.
Mm-hmm.
He tweeted at us weeks ago that, like, hey, you should have some classical music as your walk-off.
Mm-hmm.
I said, great. Tell me what it is. So right now I'm playing classical music. And it's by some classical band called Grimethorpe Colliery Band. And I think the name of the song is Nimrod
Okay.
from Enigma. So already sounds terrible. It sounds
And
difficult.
this is like classical, like Beethoven classical?
I don't think so. I think it's like I went to YouTube and I got the song and it was like a bunch of like white dads. You know, like 20 white band dads.
Okay.
So it's like a modern orchestra,
Gotcha.
but it's classical music.
Okay.
So it's not Bach or Beethoven or anything like that. But hey, either way, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And much like sending us in cool stories, if there's a song that you guys really love, you know, this is the first one anyone's ever recommended, so we'll do it.
Yeah.
Not to say every week, if you say, hey, here's, you know, The Boys Are Back in Town by Thin Lizzy, I can't promise we'll do that one. But we might. It's a great song. But, you know, if you send us in, tweet at us, or, excuse me, email us about that, you know, we'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it. So you've been listening to Save It for the Show, episode 140. Thank you so much for listening. Go to our website, saveitfortheshow.com. Buy a shirt. They are fantastic. If people buy them, we'll keep making them. We'll make different colors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it'd be cool to have one of just our new logo, that O,
Yeah.
with all the bad words in it. Like maybe we'll do a shirt like that. The sky's the limit,
Yeah.
Eddie. We'll do whatever the fans want. So buy a shirt, leave us a review, and otherwise, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.